Today we are going to look at all the shortcuts related to selections. For example, this sheet has about 1031 rows. So despite the size of the document or the Excel sheet that you are working with, how can you do the selections very fast? In today's video, we are going to look at all the shortcuts related to selections in detail. You come to the first cell and select Ctrl Shift right arrow, Ctrl Shift down arrow. You can select the entire list within no time. To select the entire list, come to the first cell and press Ctrl Shift End. You can select the entire list in this way. You come to any cell, it could be the first cell or somewhere in the middle or somewhere at the end, and I'll come to the middle for example and press Ctrl asterisk mark. You can select the entire table in this way. Entire list can be selected. And the other option is Ctrl A. You can select the entire table in this similar way. And there is another alternative where you can press Ctrl Shift and 8. Ctrl Shift and 8 will also select the entire table in this way. You can select the entire list by pressing Ctrl Shift spacebar. So you can keep the cursor anywhere that you want and press Ctrl Shift spacebar. It will select the entire list in this way. If you want to select the entire row, press Shift spacebar. Entire row can be selected. And in the similar way, if you want to select the entire column, press Ctrl space. It will select the entire column. So there is another shortcut key where you can keep the cursor at any point that you want and press Ctrl Shift Home. It will select from the point of your cursor to the first cell, that is A1, where I have named as Home. So you go to any cell and press Ctrl Shift Home. From the cursor point to A1 can be selected. This will be another useful selection at times. Most of us use filters for selection. So this is the shortcut for on and off filters. Ctrl Shift L, you can on the filters. Ctrl Shift L again, you can off the filters. So once you press Ctrl Shift L, once the filters are on, you can do selection based on a specific criteria. In this sheet, there is something called departments. So when you select departments, there are several options like finance, IT, marketing, sales, etc. So once you off the select all, now you have the option to select whatever the department that you want. Say for instance, I want to select only the IT department here, and I select IT and say OK. And the IT department will be selected in this way. So Ctrl Shift L is another shortcut that you can use to on and off filters, and you can do specific selections thereafter. Many of the techniques that we learned so far will not help when we have blanks in the list that we are going to work. So in this list you can see many places there are blanks. So what's the shortcut? How we can select a list very fast when we have blanks? So this is a shortcut for that. Ctrl Shift End will select the entire list within no time. So that's the shortcut that you have to use when there are blanks in the list that you are working. The other method where we can easily use shortcuts is by converting the normal list or the range that you have into an Excel table. So first you need to select the entire table. We'll use the shortcut Ctrl Shift End to select the entire list. Then we'll use Ctrl T to convert it to a table. So there will be a dialog box like this, and click this My Table Has Headers, where these are the headers that you have in your table, and say OK. Now you have converted your entire range or the normal list that you have into an Excel table. So if you don't want these colors, there is an option called Design here. So go to Design and you select this first option, which is called Light. After that, it will look like a very ordinary range that you normally work with. If you don't want these filters, press Ctrl Shift L to remove the filters. After that, you can use Ctrl Shift Space to select the entire table. If you want to select the row, you can press Shift Space. If you want to select the entire column, you can press Ctrl Space. So in this way, by converting an ordinary range into a table, you can do a lot of easy selections. To learn the next shortcut, you really need a very sharp knife. It's partly a joke, but it's partly a technique. Let's see how we can use a sharp knife to select the blanks in this table. There are a lot of blanks. Now we are going to select only the blanks in this table or the list that you have here. First you have to select the list. I'll use Ctrl Shift N to select the entire list, and then I'll press Function F5. It will give me the Go to dialog box. After that, I'll press Alt S for sharp, Alt K for knife, and when I say enter, so the sharp knife has given you the selection. Alt S and Alt K has sharp knife, where you will remember the shortcut key very easily. So if I repeat again, first you have to press Function F5. It will give the Go to dialog box. After that, you have to press Alt S and Alt K. Remember easily, remember it as sharp knife, and after that if you say enter, only the blanks can be selected. So to highlight that, we'll go and select this color. So only these blanks are now colored. I hope that you enjoyed this learning video a lot. Feel free to comment and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, because you will get a very exciting video very soon to your doorstep. Thank you very much for watching.